everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rich. I am still working on my master bathroom and I'm in the middle of doing the plumbing for my new vanity that I'm installing. And I initially was going to continue using copper pipe, and I am for the most part, but I have gotten to a section of plumbing that I need to do, and I just felt like it would be easier to use PEX in this situation, and it has a lot of advantages over the copper pipe in the scenario that I'm dealing with. So in this video I'm going to explain how to convert from copper pipe to PEX pipe and the fittings and the tools that you're going to need to use to accomplish that task. So let's take a look at what we've got. Now that I've got the joists exposed, you can see where I've run my drain pipe, and I need to run the copper half-inch pipe in this area as well, and I need it to come up essentially where those two marks are. But the problem that I'm running into is the joist is here, and so this is a gap, an area, a pocket area of space, but I can't get to it because the subfloor is there. I mean, I certainly could cut it all underneath, cut it out, and try to slide the subfloor out of the way. But even if I do that, it's still going to be a tight area to braze in there. I mean, you can do it. I'm not saying that I can't. It's just, it's going to be a lot harder to work in there, especially with the MAP gas bottle and everything that you need to do to heat it up. The PEX pipe seemed to be maybe an easier solution, because I can just drill the hole here on this side, drill the hole down, and then fish the PEX pipe up through these two holes. Now that's not going to be easy, but I think I can do that a whole lot easier than trying to braze some copper pipe together in a very small confined spot. And the advantage of using PEX in this scenario, because I'm going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joists, I would normally, with copper pipe, I would have to cut like 14.5-inch sections and slide it, and then have a coupler, have a coupler, have a coupler, another coupler, and another coupler, and I would have to braze in every spot to be able to get straight pipe in there, and I would have to do it for both hot and cold. In any case, I think this is the way to go, is to use the PEX, because I can just fish the PEX all the way through here, and it's one continuous line without any breaks in it and potential leaks that you have to pressure test. So I think PEX is a better solution for this spot. I got a couple of these 90-degree braces that they have. It kind of supports the PEX pipe so that it doesn't kink, because if it ends up kinking, then you end up having, obviously a blockage in the water supply, and then potentially that kink can break over time. So I'd like to be able to put one of these in there. So that means I've got to make a big enough hole to be able to slide this in. Okay, so I took the multi-tool and I cut that little tab off of there. So I'm sure it's made to be able to screw into maybe a joist or something like that once you get it in there, but I don't really need it, and I don't think it's not gonna affect the strength of it. So So got a little late last night and I decided to take a break from it, but I'm back at it today and I'm ready to connect the pipes. But before I do that, I have to actually braze a fitting onto the copper pipe, the stub out that I have, and these are the fittings that you will get. These happen to be shark bite. It's a 1/2 by 1/2 female sweat fitting. It's a brass fitting that goes onto copper. And so for my stub out for the hot and cold, I have these lengths, and these will fit on there like that. And then the PEX connects to this. So you want to clean the fittings, which I've already done. Now you just need to put a little bit of flux on the fitting itself so that the solder will draw up into the fitting, and then a little bit on the pipe itself. Fit that on there, and now we can go ahead and put some heat to it. So I'm ready to make my connections to the PEX pipe to the actual fittings themselves, but what I need to make that connection and make that fitting watertight is the use of a ring, and this is a copper ring that you essentially slide onto the pipe itself, the PEX pipe, and then put the pipe on there, and then you want to crimp the ring so that the ring is centered on these little nibs on the fitting itself, so that it's centered right in between there. And to make that connection, you use a tool like this. This one I got, it's from iCrimp, and what's really nice about it is that it does both 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch crimp rings on it. So it's got ability to do that. It has adjustability, or if it comes out of alignment, that you can adjust it and recalibrate it as needed to get a tight seal. It also gives you a nice little, what they call a go, no-go tool, and you essentially slide this over your crimp ring once you've crimped it to determine whether or not you've got a good seal on the PEX pipe. And basically it gives you a line and a mark, and you want to make sure that it slides over and it's centered. The center of the ring is right through the center of that line. If it goes too far, that's no-go. That means it's too tight. And then if it doesn't go on, it means that it's not tight enough. When you put these rings on the PEX pipe, they're fairly loose, so they slide around. So when you get it to where you want it, about an eighth of an inch from the end, is that this little tool has this little feature that you move up into place, and it doesn't allow it to clamp too tight, but it allows you to pinch the ring a little bit onto the PEX so that it can't slide around, so that you have it where you want it when you're ready to actually crimp it down, and then you move it out of the way and then crimp it down. As I was looking at these last night, because it's pinching up against the wood there like that, I kind of feel like I want to make some elbowed connections rather than these S shapes. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here and then just have a squared off type of a fitting, and then do the same thing with that one. To make the cuts that I need to make to attach these 90-degree elbows to it, is you want to use a pipe cutter, and that way it gives you a nice square cut, and you just open that up and then you give it a little slice right here. So what you want to do is put a ring on there. Put a fitting on it. And so you see where those nubs are? Where it fits on there? You want to about 1/8 of an inch away from the end. So you want it to be right around there. So see how it moves around when you do that? And this little tool will help you so that way it's tight enough, but it's not going to move around. Gives you ability to move the fitting to get it where you want it without this moving around too much, because it's really loose. So now I'll remove that, and now I'm ready to actually crimp it for good. There you go. And that's supposed to be crimped right there. And now you just want to go ahead and get your go, no-go tool. Test it. Put a ring on here. And then connect this up. Okay, and you can make fine adjustments once you kind of pinch it a little bit. So it'll move, but it's not so loose that it just jumps around. So now you just want to go ahead and you want to check all of them, so you want to make sure that you got them all tight. There's where the vanity is going to be, and we are over here at the existing pipes is where we need to make the connection. And I need to make my hot water connection here. So this is where I'm going to tie into the hot, and this one is the cold. And I've soldered all of these pieces, except I have to solder this one to this piece here, and I have to solder this elbow. So this gives me my movement right now so that I can kind of mock things up. So I have this coupler that I have to connect, and I've got this elbow that I need to connect. And those are the 6 connections that I still have to make, plus the PEX connections. So I don't want to make the PEX connections quite yet, because obviously I got to use flame, and so I am gonna try to connect all this stuff up. First, let me go ahead and get this braced. Okay, so the last step is to connect these pipes. So, need to connect those two together. it doesn't want to, barely. So, there it is. Now it's just a matter of turn the water back on, see if I get any leaks. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of brazing. I wouldn't be surprised if I have a leak somewhere, but I'll be happy if I don't. Okay, I'm back. I turned the water on, and unfortunately, I had a leak on the hot side. It was this fitting right here, and I had to essentially disconnect everything and clean that up and put new pipe and a new fitting in there and re-soldered everything back together. So we got a whole lot more copper and solder than we had bargained for. But that solved the problem with the hot side. Cold side was fine. So water's on, shut-off valves work, everything seems to be working. Connections to the PEX pipe, surprisingly, those were the easiest. I'm almost now a believer of the PEX, just because this is a whole lot more tricky to solder, you know, within joists and the joist bays. You got heat and fire and everything. But certainly this is, you know, a plug for the PEX pipe. It works really well. I could have certainly just gone and cut it off right here and put a T to go this way and to go that way, and it probably would have been a whole lot simpler. As far as converting from copper to PEX, the female sweat fittings worked perfectly. The crimping tool is easy to use, not hard. It's certainly something that I would, you know, recommend for folks to switch over if you're wanting to switch over to change out a shower valve or some other type of plumbing. Certainly is a convenient way to do plumbing within a joist bay or a wall stud bay without using any heat if you're not comfortable with brazing copper. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel to see other videos that might be coming up as I continue remodeling my master bathroom. Okay, everybody, until next time, I will talk to you soon. Take care.